We are back with another episode of Touching Gloves with Ben and Doss. I'm your man Doss, and
And I'm Ben.
what's up,
I'm
Ben?
good, man. I'm good.
Mate, how you feeling post UFC 252?
A bit conflicted, Doss. A bit conflicted.
Talk to me. Fill me in.
Um, I mean, it really just comes down to the O'Malley fight. I was gutted. I was
Yeah.
gutted about the injury. I did a bit of research into the injury.
Okay.
Apparently, it's the same foot that he injured in 2018. He was in a fight there, and apparently he tore the ligaments in his foot in 2018.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he said that the doctors said that he'll probably have recurring foot injuries in that same foot. And it looks like, when he's checked the kick, he's done the same thing.
Well,
sucks for O'Malley.
yeah. Well, we'll get there in a second. Let's do a recap. Let's work our way up through the main card and have a look at who the winners were yesterday. Starting with the first fight on the card, Dodson versus Divalishvili.
Correct.
We'll go with that. I didn't get a chance to watch this, Ben, but you said you did, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing from my like we talked about yesterday in regards to Dodson.
Yep.
He looked really good a couple of years ago in those Mighty Mouse fights.
Mm-hmm.
But he definitely doesn't look like he's got the flair that he used to have for me. It was a good enough fight, but yeah, Devilishvili convincingly beat him, won all 3 rounds. Yeah, didn't look like he was in that much danger, to be honest, from my point of view.
Okay. So Divalishvili, he's do you know what his ranking is at the moment? Do you know where he is?
I don't actually think. One second. Where is he? Bantamweight. He's 15th in the bantamweights.
Right, so he's still not even top 10 yet. Wow, Dodson, what a fall from grace.
Yes.
That's a shame. He's always been really entertaining to watch, but
yeah,
it seems like his best days are behind him.
Definitely, I think.
Okay, well, I guess with Marab Divalishvili, we need to just see him keep working away, doing what he does.
I think I reckon he's probably on the verge of maybe a top 10 fight now.
Yeah.
I mean, Dodson was ranked 12.
Mm-hmm.
He's beaten him, probably jumps above him now, and fight someone in the top 10, I reckon.
All right. I also didn't get a chance to catch Burns and Pineda, but from all accounts, it seems like it was a pretty exciting fight.
Yeah, from what I did see of it, the ending was pretty clinical. I think we touched on yesterday about the ground game was going to be where it was won or lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Pineda got him in the crucifix position. And anyone that knows much about jiu-jitsu, that is definitely not where you want to be.
That's the worst place to be if you don't want to get punched in the face repeatedly.
Yeah, if you don't want to get punched and elbowed in the face without being able to defend yourself. And just finished him from there.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next for Pineda then?
Pineda, where's he? Featherweight. I mean, he's not even ranked top 15, so it's a bit hard. Yeah, maybe just give him someone just outside the 15, someone inside the 15, possibly.
Yeah, it's
again,
still,
sorry, Doss, you go.
I was just going to say it's still early days. It's hard to tell with these guys that are sitting out in the sort of 15 to 20 category.
Yeah, those fringe guys. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. Just find someone that's right on the edge of 10 and who's willing to fight him, obviously, and see how he performs.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, like we spoke yesterday, these first 2 fights were definitely opportunities for upcoming fighters to kind of show what they've got on a main card and not get kind of lost in that pre-fight card.
Yep.
And I definitely reckon he put on a good performance. So yeah, I reckon someone around that 15, just inside the top 15, I reckon is definitely what he's got coming up.
Yeah, but it did. We were pretty accurate when we said that based on what we could see from their stats, from their history, from their records, that the fight would go to the ground.
Yeah.
I thought ultimately would end with a submission based on the sub stats.
Yeah, what we looked at yesterday. Yeah, but I mean, hey, the trend continues. 27 wins. He's not gone to a decision yet for a victory.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the undercard, real quick, the card that getting these guys exposure, I was really surprised after our chat to see. Jim Miller was on the undercard.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, he was the top fight on the undercard.
Got a loss. I've always had a soft spot for Jim Miller.
Yes.
real warrior. And I remember years ago he had an epic fight with Joe Lozon. I don't know if you remember that. Probably around
I do.
2012, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. You know, they were both
Joe
fighting.
Lozon was a good fighter as well, actually.
Oh, amazing. He was his level of grit, determination, and just his ability to throw, he'd be throwing flying heel hooks. Actually, in that fight, he threw a flying heel hook at the end of the third round against Jim Miller.
Yeah.
It's just like he was always in the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he never looked out of it. He didn't look like a fighter. That was the thing either.
Yeah,
but he was very good jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
Very good.
So now we've got Dos Santos and Rosenstrike.
Yes.
I did see this one.
Big boy.
Dos Santos looked really good.
He did. He looked physically. He looked in good shape as well.
He was light.
Yeah.
On his feet. He looked
very
moving well. Yeah.
I mean, big boy hits like a truck, though, doesn't he?
It takes one, doesn't it? When you're at that level, at that weight, it just takes one, and
that's it.
We were saying that Junior's had a chin. He always has, but it's
started to fade a little bit.
It's definitely no Pat Barry chin. He's not getting knocked out with a gust of wind. But
no, very true. But it definitely doesn't look as granite as it used to be. In saying that, so JDS has gone 3-3 in his last. He won 3 straight and then lost 3 straight.
Yep.
The 3 straight fights he's lost have been against the rank 6, which was Rosenstruck, the rank 3 and rank 2.
Yeah, so he's still losing against top.
He's only losing to the top, to the top blokes.
Yeah, I feel like he's gatekeeper territory now. He's almost like the Cerrone of the heavyweight division.
Yeah, very true. I can't see him fighting for a title again. It doesn't make sense at 36-ish, unless for some reason he can start knocking out everyone in the top 4. But even then, I can't see him fighting for the title again. I think, like you said, he's kind of resigned to being just a gatekeeper. He's got nothing else to prove. So if he wants to hang up the gloves, I mean, he's got nothing else to prove. He's a former champ. He's knocked out everyone that needs to be knocked out.
Yeah, but he's still exciting. That's the thing too. It's like with the Cerrone comparison, you're going to tune in to watch him because it's exciting. Yeah,
it's a highlight either way. Win or loss, there's highlights in there.
But great win there for Rosenstrike. he was. I feel like he was. He wasn't up on the cards.
No.
But you don't need to be up on the cards when you're knocking people out. So
yeah, that's it. Like he said, it takes one, and that's really what he does. Is he just finds he's a bit of a slow starter, but when he gets started, it takes one, and he'll put you down.
I'll be interested to see him because he's, as you said, he's 6th on the rankings list.
Yeah, so he should go up after that fight, I imagine.
I'd be curious to see him fight. Who would be a good fight for him in the top 5?
Eric Lewis.
Oh, Black Beast.
Pick. That's what I'd like. I mean, your top 5. So you've got Rosenstrike at 6.
Yeah.
Then you got JDS 5, Black Beast at 4, Curtis Blades 3.
Oh yeah, there's another interesting fight.
And Ngannou at 2 and DC at 1. So take DC out because he said he only wants to fight for titles. We'll talk on that later. Stipe probably, me personally, I want to see Stipe fight Curtis Blades.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis has done enough to probably warrant that.
Well, the Ngannou fight with Stipe last time
was pretty one-sided.
It was very one-sided. Yeah, Stipe's smart. He's not going to stand there and box with him. Of course, he's going to use his distance and tire him out. So I think Rosenstrike fights either Ngannou or Black Beast. That's my pick. That's what I'd like to see. Both of those are amazing sounding fights.
Yeah. And I just had another name actually come into my mind. Do you know where Walt Harris is ranked?
11.
He's 11.
Yeah.
He had the loss recently to his comeback fight was against.
I'll tell you in 1 second.
It was sad actually to see him lose it. But he's
Overeem?
Was it Overeem?
I believe so.
He's another formidable guy who's obviously he's 11, but he's got a ton of potential too. So even though he might be maybe a little bit too far down the ladder for someone like Rosenstrike doesn't want to be fighting guys under him.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
still a fight I'd love to see too.
Yeah, I definitely think that'd be a great fight. Looking at Walt Harris's fight history, a lot of his fights don't get out the first round, so
Yeah.
it would be a slugfest. But yeah, I think I see Rosenstrike fighting probably Black Beast, depending on who they announce for Stipe to fight next.
Or it's Ngannou, 100% according to Dana.
Okay, all right. Well then, yeah, I'll probably see Rosenstrike fighting Black Beast.
Yeah.
Blades. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, Blades is kind of just in the mix and probably has to just wait.
I imagine he probably fights Stipe if Stipe beats Ngannou again. I imagine.
Otherwise, unless it depends as well. Some people like to fight and just get it done. So there is the possibility that Blades and Rosenstrike have a fight. Like that is.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, hey, yeah, Black Beast may not want to take that fight. He may have other stuff to do. So.
But time will tell. Okay. So, and how did our picks go with that one? Actually, we did say Rosenstrike.
We took Rosenstrike, yeah, and I think we said the second round.
Not a bad pick.
So,
if you're a betting man,
that's it. We come up with the goods, mate. I think we picked.
We put
Devilishfully. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I went. You did. I picked Dodson. I was hoping for the Magic Man.
And then I picked Burns. I know that. So I'm 2-1. That's not bad. We'll go back and watch the tape and we'll confirm this.
Yeah, I picked Pineda for a submission. So I got the pick, but not the type of finish.
Type of finish, yeah.
Moving up, we had what was basically going to be,
fight of the night for us.
Fight of the night,
or at least
O'Malley.
Yeah. Sean O'Malley. How
do you feel, Ben?
Well, you and I spoke about this yesterday after the fight, or this morning. We both thought that O'Malley would have won the fight if it did go longer, obviously, without the injury.
Yeah.
We both think that O'Malley would have won that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, do you remember when Carlos Condit fought Tyson Woodley? And blew his
Tyron Woodley, yeah, and he did his ACL.
Yeah. It reminds me of that, where you've got a fighter who's got a lot of steam.
Yeah.
And because Condit was just coming out of like the GSP title fight.
Yeah.
So he had a good bit of momentum.
He was still right up there. Yep.
Yeah. And then just has one of these kind of little freak injuries that puts him right back down. I don't think we see O'Malley fight for about probably 12 months.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. It's hard to kind of take stuff away from it. I mean, Marlon Vera, what do you do with him? Maybe throw him in I mean, he won. He was in there banging as well. So, I mean, hey, you give full credit. You take it in the fight game.
Yeah.
Vera, I mean, he's not top 15. Maybe you can do something. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, maybe you can do something with the top 15 fighter, possibly. You could always fight Devilishfully.
Yeah. Look, an interesting thing is, you were comparing it to Condit versus Tyron Woodley. I remember watching that fight and I was like, Condit's probably one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I love Carlos Condit. I love him.
But I will even admit, I think he was losing that fight before he did his ACL. So.
Yeah.
Like the power of that was prime Woodley too. Like that was when Woodley not messing with Woodley.
That was killer Woodley. Before he got the title and never wanted to lose it again.
Yeah, he was something else. He was really, really something special. But, I think Condit would have lost that fight regardless. He wouldn't have been finished because, Condit's chin is the most amazing thing on the planet.
For proof of that, Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing fight.
He's had some absolute crackers. And don't forget the Robbie Lawler fight as well.
Yes.
Which he, I think, and many people.
I think he won.
He won. He should have been a champion. But neither here nor there. That's, you can't change the past. Let's look at O'Malley for a second. O'Malley was looking really good.
Yeah.
He came out the gates as he does, looking confident, looking strong, quick, changing stances, getting the leg kicks in, landing body shots.
You look real fluent, real smooth.
He's got all the skills and he's got all the tools, but it seems like his body is his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And from what I can gather, I had a little read up before. It seems like it's a nerve injury with his peroneus.
Yeah.
Peroneus? Yeah, the peroneal tendon or whatever it is that
Yeah.
runs down the leg. And I've had something similar happen ages ago at work, knock that exact spot, and it does. It makes your foot just go dead. So
Yeah. Okay. Which explains those steps in the buckle.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you could see as soon as that happened, the whole fight shifted, and I was like, maybe he's still gonna get a lucky knockout in.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him really getting to the second round, and then sure enough, into the first.
That's it. Yeah. Vera just did what he needed to do. I mean, yeah, like I said, full credit to Vera. Hey, if your opponent's injured, you're in there to fight. You're in there to win. Really, at the end of the day, aren't you?
It's a tough win as well, because it's hard to get credit for it for the people who are riding the Sugar Show bandwagon.
Yeah, of course.
That they're not going to really view.
They won't acknowledge it.
It's just like, you got lucky because he hurt himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But he can prove himself in whatever his next fight is.
Yeah, like we said. I mean, Devilishly, maybe that's a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. I mean, they both had pretty good performances, so it could be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon. Hopefully, it's nothing too major with O'Malley. Hopefully, he's able to come back. I'd love to see it, but just sometimes some people, their body just isn't made for it.
That's it. Yeah, I reckon 12 months. That's what I reckon the timeline will be.
Yeah. Then you've got
the
headliners: Stipe
Trilogy
Miocic versus Daniel Cormier.
Mate, this fight was amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Tell me your perspective.
I mean, my perspective, I had round one was close. I think maybe DC got it right at the very end, scored a takedown, some couple good combos. I had Stipe winning probably rounds 2 and 3 quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were a couple rounds there. There was round 4 or 5 again, could kind of go either way, but Stipe did enough to definitely get the unanimous decision for me. Yeah. The eye pokes, that's the glaring thing. Eye pokes from both fighters.
Yeah, well, it looked.
I mean,
the one against Cormier looked really bad.
Yes. So I did a quick bit of research after that. His cornea is not detached. They were worried that his cornea was going to be detached and he might need a bit of surgery on that.
Yeah.
That's not the case. So his eye is fine, which is good. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to see poor guys like Michael Bisping going blind.
Yeah. Particularly on your retirement fight.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You don't want to have one eye. It looked real bad. Real bad.
If you look at the photo up close, like he's got at least...
It's up to about the first knuckle, second knuckle.
It's about that far into his head.
Yeah. It looked insane.
Painful. So, yeah, luckily he's not blind.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw that episode of Joe Rogan talking with Trevor Whitman and Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
Trevor Whitman's invented and I think he's even patented a type of glove, a new type of UFC glove.
Yeah.
And he was basically doing a pitch on the show to Joe Rogan. I think with this particular eye poke incident, it's probably going to be the cream on, the cherry on top, or not the cherry on top, but like the icing on the cake for making changes to the gloves seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have guys poking like that bad. Like they're bad. They were both bad eye pokes from both fighter. They were not great. I think you're right. I think it makes a good argument to develop something. Yeah,
well, I think, like I said, Trevor Whitman's already sitting on something that seems really good, and even Gaethje uses them in practice and swears by them. Says they're still they don't affect wrestling, grappling, anything like that.
Okay.
But just the way they're designed, they've just got your fingers kind of in a slightly curved position, so it's not possible
to actually to full extend for the poke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But look, we did predict. I remember I said my heart wanted DC, but my head said Stipe gets it done. I said knockout, but
I think we both said knockout. I said knockout round 3 or 4, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, Stipe is he the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Well, he has to be. He has the most title defenses, and he's beaten Daniel Cormier, who is let's look at it. He's beaten Daniel Cormier, who was a light heavyweight champion and a heavyweight champion. So he's beaten, a double champ.
Twice.
He's beaten a monster very handedly. The monster being Ngannou.
Yep.
Everyone thought that Ngannou was just going to come in there and kill him.
Yeah.
And for the first minute or so, he was swinging some shots that would kill anyone.
Big shots. They'd put down a rhino.
But he's a fantastic fighter. I think it's no debate. I just think it's no contest. He has to be. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, like you said, he's beaten DC twice now, beaten Ngannou on a hype train, beat Verdum the first time when Verdum
former champ. Yep.
Riding a big wave as champ, put him down.
Yeah.
The man's just an animal.
Yep.
I definitely think you're right. I mean, the only person I'd love to see him fight John Jones.
Oh, well, that's been
I mean, I don't know if anyone watching saw, but Jones tweeted out after the result. He said, "Heavyweight division, I'll be seeing you soon."
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess Stipe's in that point now where he's really only got one or two other fighters in the heavyweight division that he should beat before he's just looking at money fights, really.
Well, let's look at who I'm on his thing right now. Look at all his wins here. Okay, I'm scrolling down.
Yeah.
We've got DC twice, so champ. Oh, yeah, DC twice.
Yeah.
So he's a champ. Ngannou, monster.
Yeah.
Dos Santos, former champ. Verdum, former champ. Mark Hunt, monster / everyone knows his background. He's a beast. He lost his first fight against Dos Santos. So, yeah, he avenged that. Gabriel Gonzaga. But you've got, 4 champs, I think I said there. Then you had, back in 2013 when Big Country was on a tear. So, when Roy Nelson was knocking everyone out, Miocic beat him. Miocic, his record's awesome.
Yeah. Solid. So, what's he lost? He's lost 3 fights. One to JDS, you just said?
Yep. One to
2012. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then one to DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when was his last loss? There's the DC fight, wasn't it? DC won.
Yeah. Oh, and I missed Arlovsky. He's beaten Arlovsky as well, former champ.
Yeah. So he's beaten, as per UFC rankings now, he's beat the number 13, the number 7, the number 5, the number 2, the number 1.
Yeah, he has to be the GOAT. There's no two ways about it. He's beaten, within the UFC, 1, 2, 3, 4 former champs, and that's excluding champs, people that were champs in other organizations.
Yeah. The man's an animal.
So
I feel like each fight he just looks stronger and healthier.
He looks better. He actually looks.
He looks really, really fit.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, like he looks very strong.
Well, he's fit. In the real world, he's out fighting fires and stuff. So it's not like even his rest time isn't really.
Yeah, that restful.
So I think, you've got John Jones is really exciting if he was to go up. There is a bit of
big fight
tension around that. People are saying that Jones should either grant Dominic Reyes or Thiago Santos a rematch, because both of those hotly contested. It's fair to say that, particularly the Dominic fight, he probably did win that. And the Thiago Santos fight, Jones was being very evenly matched and against the guy who blew his knee out in the 3rd round.
Yeah, it was, those 2 fights are definitely fights that Jones hasn't looked that under the pump or that worried since the Gustafsson won, the first time he fought Gustafsson. Yeah.
That was the most
uncomfortable I've ever seen John Jones looking to fight.
But in saying that, the fight with Dominic was still
Oh, that's what I mean. The fight with Dominic Reyes, like, is the first time since that fight where
Gotcha.
Jones has actually looked like he could possibly lose or has lost.
Yeah.
Because it's that same thing. Gustafsson, for me, in that fight, really, I thought it definitely could have gone either way. If Gustafsson won that fight
Yeah.
against John Jones, you cobble on the chin because it was a hell of a good fight. And it was the same with that Dominic Reyes fight.
Yeah.
Those calls can go either way.
Here's what I think happens, Benno. I think if they were to fight, I think it's a beatdown. I think Dominic had a really good night that night, but just like Jones and Gustafsson too, that was very one-sided.
Yeah.
I think Jones just comes out, does what Jones, and I think he'd do the same to Santos too. You know, what's crazy to me is Santos used to fight middleweight. So it's like, he was a big middleweight.
Mm.
But Jones is now, Jones is 6'4". He's a big dude.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He can easily put on 15, 20 pounds and be a comfortable 230, 235 at heavyweight, easy.
And he'd be quick. And I think he's
quick,
would be.
He's long.
He's strong.
He'd be uncomfortable. A very uncomfortable fight.
So, Ngannou is obviously getting the next shot against
Miocic.
Miocic.
Yeah, that's been confirmed. Yeah.
But Jones would be fun. It would be interesting. And there's plenty of interesting fights for him at heavyweight.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you look at it like John Jones against, Ngannou would even be enjoyable. Anyone in the top 5 there, Derek Lewis would be a good fight. I think he just wears Derek Lewis down.
Yeah.
But like against Blades, Jones, Curtis Blades, that'd be very interesting again. Well, there's a lot of options if he decides to kind of do that chop and change between weights.
Yeah. The thing with the heavyweight division is the guys, he definitely has the skills to beat all of them. He's like, Jones is probably the best fighter that the UFC has ever seen. He's amazing.
Yeah.
But the guys in heavyweight land big shots.
Yeah. They land bombs.
So if Ngannou lands a clean shot on him, if Lewis lands a shot, if Blades even lands a shot, like all of them, they're all beasts.
Yeah.
So it gets interesting, but
there's a lot more danger. There's a lot more danger in the stand-up game at heavyweight.
Yeah, but he's
that's
also
very
an
much
amazing wrestler. So we'll see what happens there. But overall, we got maybe half of the picks right, the winners. We didn't get all the methods of victory, but nonetheless, still an enjoyable card.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it.
So moving forward, looking at what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, there are some exciting fights. What do we got on the cards, Benny?
I think next week we've got Frankie Edgar against Munoz.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Well, any Frankie fight.
Yeah, next Sunday, yeah.
Any Frankie fight is exciting.
It'll be interesting. I mean, Frankie, if he wins, can he push for a bantamweight title shot? We'll have to wait and see. The rest of that card, again, is kind of just guys that are on the fringes. You got OSP against Menfield in light heavyweight. Again, it's all just kind of a bit guys on the fringes that they're just going to get a bit of exposure. Hopefully they'll perform.
Yeah. And then, sure enough, the next UFC. So we don't do the recaps or the picks for the fights in between. We do the main events, but we'll be doing the Nurmagomedov versus Gaethje fight in about a month's time, 25th of October.
I think we've actually got a UFC 253 DOS, which they're not really advertising or there's links to.
Oh wait, what are we in now? We're in August. Oh yeah, September. There's another month in between.
Yeah.
What's that fight?
It is Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa.
Yes. That's going to be a friggin' fight.
September 19th. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Is that in Australia? Where is that?
I don't think they've actually set the venue yet.
Oh, obviously it's probably going to be over in
it'll probably be over at their Fight Island or whatever they've got going on over there, I imagine.
Yeah, it would have to be. Okay. And I think what I heard from Dana is that he's actually okay with just running the fights there for a while. It works. Obviously, it's probably costing them less money to ship things around, and
Yeah.
it's all there ready to rock and roll. So that's going to be super exciting. So that is. I wonder why that doesn't show up on the website though.
Yeah, there's a few. I think it's because the card's been chopped and changed a little bit.
Must be.
Yeah, so they're kind of, I think, figuring out the actual lineup.
Yeah.
But Paulo Costa, he's a man mountain, that man.
Yeah, he's a frightening dude.
He's 200 or 185 pounds of just chiseled stone.
He has to be. He has to be on the juice, or he has to be doing something. Like if you're genetically that gifted, or I don't know. Look at Romero too.
I mean, yeah, y'all's blessed. We'll put it that way. But yeah, Paulo Costa is a very fit bloke. But that's what we got coming up. 253, September 19.
We'll do a what do we name it the other day? In a couple of weeks' time, we'll do kind of a monthly wrap up.
Yeah, just a catch up of kind of any big news that's come out. We'll probably be able to cover a bit more of the O'Malley injury.
Mm-hmm.
And we may know a bit more in terms of upcoming fights as well. So we'll just do a bit of a more general catch up. Maybe even talk about a few other things that are happening in the fight game. Like I mentioned yesterday, maybe just touch on the Mike Tyson return.
Oh,
we all love a good exhibition fight. We might just talk on that briefly. Talk about, maybe a couple of the other promotions that are going on. Other fighters that we like, possibly. There are other promotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just things that are going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Benno. Well, we'll lock that in for the next couple of weeks. And in the meantime, you go and be excellent. You do the dad life stuff. I'll just hang out here in my black corner.
You keep up the hard work grind, mate. Hard work.
Mate. That's all
what
I know.
it's about.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ben and Dos Touching Gloves.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Dos man. Until next time.